This is your 5 huge tips for good mental health. I'm going to dive right into it, but if you want to know more about me and why you should listen to me, you can skip to this end of this video where I introduce myself and I tell you about my qualifications. But we're going to get right into it. Number 1 tip, trust your intuition. This intuition is that little voice inside you that is with you all the time, but it's not always loud. It's subtle, it whispers, but it's generally consistent. It's also that feeling in your gut. Some people say the stomach is the third brain. So honor your intuition, trust your intuition, develop your intuition. The more you listen to it and honor it, the more it evolves. When you are in a situation and something feels off, honor that feeling, get out of there. If you're looking for a therapist and you kind of feel, this guy or girl is very knowledgeable, has all the certificates, but it just doesn't feel right. I don't feel heard. I don't feel understood. You might just be right. So be picky, be critical. You can respectfully move on. Say, sorry, this is not for me. Maybe I don't exactly know why. I don't have the facts or the logic, but this feeling, I just keep feeling it. My intuition keeps telling me something is off. So I'm going to close this door and I'm going to open another door because there's always another way. The world is abundant. Oftentimes when we've been abused or we have trauma, we might have a scarcity mindset or fear. But ultimately, the universe is full of possibilities and there is a right path for you. And sometimes we just need to be able to bravely and courageously say, no, this is not for me. And, if it's not a H yes, an F yes, then it might just be a no. So honor your intuition. Of course, this doesn't mean, you take risks that put your life in danger, or, sometimes you feel like doing something impulsive. Always safety first, right? That's Mama Larry talking. Safety first. Your life is precious. Okay, number 2 tip is awareness. Develop your awareness. Now, it sounds kind of weird, but it's not complicated. It's simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. However, the more you practice your awareness, the easier it gets. The core of awareness is connecting with yourself and observing yourself without judgment. Aristotle, the famous Greek teacher, says that the highest form of intelligence is to observe ourselves without judgment. Now, obviously, if you take the time to just connect with yourself, you close your eyes, you focus on your breath, and you observe yourself, judgments are going to arise. Emotions will arise. The practice is that you keep returning to a neutral observation. So, I might hear, oh, Larry, you're kind of a loser and this is not going to work. But I'm just going to return to the present moment and observe that feeling or that thought and allow it to move on. Because the mind is always producing thoughts. So by being aware of yourself and developing that awareness, we shine a light of observation on ourselves. In psychology, the idea of just noting something is nutritious. The more you notice something, the more it evolves. The more you take time to develop your awareness of yourself, awareness of your feelings, of your thoughts, of your beliefs, the more chance it has to evolve, or you develop insights, you develop new angles to look at it, new perspectives, new heights, new answers. Sometimes it sounds kind of boring, but there is a magic and an excitement to explore ourselves and to keep revisiting ourselves. I have been traumatized and abused in my life, especially in my childhood. And over the years, this practice of awareness and bringing my attention to my pain and observing it as neutrally as I can has been very helpful. It helps me get out of patterns that might not be so helpful. And then I can develop new ways of relating to myself, relating to what has happened to me, and creating a better version of myself. And this is a good time to tell you, if you look in the description, there's a link to sign up for my email list. I promise your email's safe with me. I will send you offers. I give away my self-help book, my meditation book. I have a meditation course on Udemy. And I'll also be giving away a copy of my book of how to deal with family trauma and family betrayal. And I'm in the process of creating that. Okay, so tip number 3 is hydration. This one is easy. Drinking enough water. In our day-to-day lives, people are busy. It's very common that we're not drinking enough water. In my practice as a nutritionist and therapist, I have seen a lot of people with aches and pains and ailments, and they're just simply not drinking enough water. Our bodies are over 75% water. Our brain needs water to function optimally. If you hydrate properly, then you might find, depression, anxiety, and these symptoms will lessen. Of course, if you have serious cases of depression and anxiety or OCD like me in the past, then you will need to do specific practices, specific cognitive exercises to conquer that. But I truly believe that mental ailments can be transformed. Oftentimes, mental ailments, mental health issues, it's a way of our minds telling us that something in our lives is not working for us and we need to change. Jim Carrey says, depression is your body, your avatar saying, I'm tired of this role that I'm playing. I'm tired of this situation. Let's get out of it. Let's make a change. Number 4 is food. Like I said, I'm a nutritionist, and how we feed our bodies is really important. You want to prefer simple whole foods. The less processed, the better. You want good water, which I already mentioned, but you want to use glass bottles if possible. You want to avoid plastics, low quality plastics that can affect your hormones, affect your brain function. Get a water filter. It doesn't have to be expensive. You want to eat medium to high protein. Eggs are a great source of protein, full of good cholesterol. Some people eat a bunch of eggs and find that their bad cholesterol lowers and their good cholesterol, HDL, goes up. You want good fats like omega-3s, walnuts. Some experts say if they could only eat one nut, it would be walnuts. You want to eat good carbs like sweet potatoes or rice. Some people do good with a low-carb diet. Some people do good with more carbs. You got to feel it out. And this relates back to point 1. I studied a lot of diets in school and all sorts of nutritional advice, and I find intuitive eating is the best. Feel it out. Your body knows what it needs. Honor your cravings. Of course, sometimes we're going to crave junk food. We're going to crave chips. I love potato chips. We're going to crave Coca-Cola. And that sometimes can be an emotional need. And sometimes we just want to escape a bit, which is fine. A little bit of escapism is just fine. Life is about ebb and flow. You just want to make sure that if you notice yourself ebbing a lot, flow a bit. If you're flowing a lot, ebb a bit. So don't be too perfect. Perfectionism is bad for mental health. Strive for balance and something that's sustainable. For me, I try to eat healthy, but if I cannot have potato chips once in a while, it feels like life is missing something. Yeah, potato chips aren't healthy, but they're delicious, and they make me feel like life is bright and joyful. Some ketchup chips, some spicy Doritos. Once in a while, not a big deal. Moderation is key, including moderation itself. So these are tired old cliches, but these cliches exist because they're often true. So when it comes to eating, don't be too perfect, but Set high standards for yourself because you deserve it. Number 5 is breathing. Breathing exercises, box breathing, slowly breathing and breathing very deep and then holding the breath at the top for 20 to 60 seconds. You can build up, obviously. Start at 20 seconds or 10 and then build up to 60. One of my teachers, Dr. Tang, says holding the breath supercharges the cells with oxygen and is good for your brain, and it's helpful for your heart, and it can improve the elasticity of your blood vessels. Box breathing, I'll teach that in a separate video, or you can look it up online. Basically, any form of breath work helps you tune in with yourself. It's like anchoring to yourself, because sometimes it's difficult to just be with ourselves. The thoughts can be overwhelming, the emotions, the thoughts of the past, projections of the future. It can be overwhelming. So if we focus on the breath, it's kind of like a moving anchor that can help us connect with ourselves. Remember, connecting with ourselves, being aware of ourselves, but not judging, or at least not giving into the judgments, is the highest form of intelligence, according to Aristotle. So yes, the judgments will come, but don't believe everything you think. The brain is just producing thoughts, producing thoughts. Return to that awareness of the breath and say, I am possible, I am worth it, I love myself. Another simple exercise is like this. Breathing in, I am aware of breath in. Breathing out, I am aware of breath out. Breathing in, I send kindness and gratitude to myself. Breathing out, I observe myself without judgment. And the last final bonus tip is to love yourself. Oftentimes people say, I have so much love to give, but no one to give it to. I'm lonely. Well, maybe you should give that love to yourself. You might not feel like you deserve it. You might feel like, you've made a lot of mistakes or bad things have happened to you. And, when bad things happen to us when we're young, we might convince ourselves that it's our fault somehow, or subconsciously our body. It's a trauma and survival response. But the hardest part about healing trauma is that you have to deal with the wounds that maybe you didn't create or you didn't intend. Maybe you were just a child. And it's not your fault, but only you can make things better. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. But knowing that only you can be the master of your destination, your healing journey, also is liberating. It's freeing. No one really knows what's best for you except for you, and only you can decide your fate. Oh, Captain, my captain, you are the master of this ship. So, love yourself. You might not feel like you deserve it, but you do. You deserve to be happy and healthy. You deserve to have a fit body, or at least a healthy body. A healthy body is a foundation for a healthy mind. The mind-body connection is very profound, deep, and strong. And when you really love yourself, you'll radiate confidence and good vibes. And that can be a good starting point to making friends or finding a partner. And at the same time, solitude is underrated. There's nothing wrong with being alone. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Being happy and peaceful with yourself and living a simple life, that can be a great form of love and a great expression of life. So I hope this video has been helpful. And a bit about myself. My name is Larry. I'm 38 years old. I'm an author and therapist and nutritionist. I've studied therapy from the Western standpoint of psychology and counseling. And I've also studied Eastern healing, like traditional Chinese medicine and Indian Ayurveda, with whom both have mental health systems. And ultimately, I believe life is precious. I know that's corny and cringy to say, but life is precious and you deserve to live a good life. I am passionate about healing because I know what it's like to really hurt. One time when I was young, my father beat the crap out of me, bloody, and then, drove me into a dark, scary mountain and then drove off and kicked me out of the car and to scare me, to teach me a lesson. And I have lived many years in fear, but I've also learned to not just survive, I've learned to thrive. Um, for whatever reason, life also gave me lung cancer twice. And I think that's because I was so angry and spiteful and hateful for a lot of my life. And they say there's a connection with grief in the lungs when it comes to lung illnesses. And somehow, well, luckily, thanks to good teachers and life, I have been able to conquer that cancer too. And so I feel like it is my passion and my perhaps my destiny or my duty to share what I've learned along the way. So if you want to know more about me, you want to hear from me, you want to read the books I've written, you're interested in what I'm creating, you're interested in my meditation Udemy course, or you want to work with me one-on-one for coaching, sign up for the email list below, comment what you're interested in when you sign up, and I'll send you some freebies. I'll send you a free copy of my book. Udemy lets me run promotions for free passes to my course once in a while. I'll do that as well for you if you're interested. So thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you all the best. Please like and subscribe. I'm just starting my YouTube journey, and I hope to see you again soon.